Sponsored by Degenerates. What's happening, people? You're tuning in to Comedy by Coincidence, and it is episode 176. Woo! What's happening, everybody? Tune in to your favorite comedy podcast, Comedy by Coincidence. I actually got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ty Young here with me today. What's happening, bro?
What's up? I am looking like I'm in a horror film, like a documentary style Cloverfield horror film right now.
Yeah.
Just the lighting situation in this room is not good.
What's up with that?
So,
Not taken hostage, but here with us is Ty Young. What's happening, dude?
yep. Not taken hostage yet. I feel like that might be in the cards when I get to Rio de Janeiro. But right now I'm in Brazil, Porto Alegre, which if you a year ago this split like the venue we're playing here a year ago had water probably halfway up the walls.
Oh my god!
Like the entire town was flooded out. So it's like a recovering town situation. But we're here because we got to make up the tickets from last year. And it's interesting. We had one guy fall through the floor, dropped about 2 feet through the floor.
Holy shit!
And that was scary.
So infrastructure's recovering. The town. It's lucky there's people coming to the shows. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's it's one of those towns where because of that big event, the wealthy side, they're still doing fine because they got money, but then the poor side, they're either hustling or they're sleeping on the streets. Like, you ever happen to take a look at like Skid Row in Los Angeles, just photos, or of San Francisco where people
Sure.
are just sleeping on the streets with blankets and stuff?
Yeah,
That's every major street here. Just,
Damn.
every 100 to 50 feet, there's like some dude just sleeping. It's kind of a sad situation. But the kindness in my heart is whenever they ask me for a cigarette, I give them a cigarette,
Yeah.
but it doesn't extend to money. It's just, I believe in cigarette karma, give them out. Eventually they'll come back to you.
Fair enough. So you're in Porto Negro right now. You're about 3 weeks into your Brazilian adventures. That sound right?
Yeah. About 3 weeks in, I'm excited to leave this town because this is the coldest town that we're going to be in Brazil because we're just moving north towards the equator after this. And it's like it's still Brazil and it's still tropical, so it's like that humid cold that just like, you know, reaches into your bones and rips out your soul every day. Like I'm I feel like my left shoulder has not been warm in about 3 weeks. You know what I mean? It's just
It's
been
that cold down there?
perpetual
Is it
cold.
like winter down there, or what's the deal?
Oh yeah, it's winter down here. But it's not like snow winter. It's like a Florida.
Yeah.
It's like a Florida winter. So it's like it's bearable during the day, but then once night falls, it's like you need a pants and a hoodie,
why am I doing
minimum.
Right, and you're a shorts guy always, so.
Yeah, and I'm a shorts guy, but it's
What's up with
more humid down here than it is in Florida. So it's like extra, you know, extra bite to it.
And I mean, I just got back from Costa Rica perfectly. I crossed the equator multiple times during my stay. It was kind of weird. Sunset at the same time all year. This is my first time dealing with different time zones and different equatorial statuses and shit. That was kind of weird.
Oh, dude, I'm kind of a fan of the equator countries, just for the pure fact of like you can choose which way your toilet goes. You know what I mean? Is it going to go clockwise today, or is it going to go counterclockwise? Where we doing the biz?
And then you'd love it just because shorts all the time, dude. It was like 90 degrees all the time down there. So,
oh yeah,
what you gonna do? I had to buy shorts to go on this trip. Like I didn't have any. It's like, what the fuck am I gonna wear down there? And damn if I don't look goofy as fuck in them. I'll tell you that. But
well,
cool.
I mean, I'm sure the locals all put on sunglasses when they saw your, you know, pale legs make an appearance.
Yeah, a whole family of tall white people coming at you. I'll tell you this, I felt safe when I was with them, though. Everybody out there short as fuck and intimidated by the 6'7" people, you know. So that was fun.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
Wouldn't...
If you want to hear about the trip, you can ask me questions, Ty, but you gotta go listen to the last episode because I don't think I can recount all the same shit, and the viewers don't need that 2 eps in a row. I feel you. I was coming. I want to see what's up with you, hear about your Brazilian adventure, and you know, we'll talk about Savage of the Week and any news I can recount for you up here, but. Anything crazy going on with your Brazilian adventure?
Well, all right. So, clearly, I'm a hippy dippy weed smoker, right?
Sure.
You know, we both look the part,
Sure.
hands down.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
I don't know.
here in Brazil, like the here in Brazil, it's you. In particular, here in Porto Alegre, it is far easier to find cocaine than it is weed. Like they don't really smoke it down here. They don't really mess with it. I've only seen one sack the entire time here, and it couldn't even be described as a dime sack. It was like, you know, take a penny cut in half, and that was the size of it. It was sad. And it's like
it was just what
I was
could
talking
smuggle
to
under
some
their
locals
left nut.
about it.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you good.
I was talking to some locals about it, and it seems like a large percentage of the population here believes that marijuana is far more addictive than cocaine.
That's crazy.
I don't know how true that is or anything because I don't really mess with the cocaine, but it's kind of blew my mind that the opinion is almost the exact opposite of the United States.
They're trying to legalize medicinal cocaine, and they're like, get rid of the moto, get rid of the moto. I can't remember how they said it. The marijuana, the smoke. Hey buddy, hey friend, you want some? Anyways. Yeah, that's crazy. A little bit of a different experience than what I had. I had fucking 5 people accost me the second I hit the beach. You know.
Yeah. And I'm sure the prices were great.
I just kept taking a walk, and they kept going back down every time I came back. So that was kind of nice. I did it right. I got some cheaper shit.
Hey, that's the salesman 101.
Salesman
Be willing to walk
101.
away, and you'll get a better price.
They also know their competition and how many people are going to come up to you and talk to you about it. And the fact you come back to them is cool. But then B, yeah, you talk your salesmanship, your hospitality too. Our buddies broke a bowl, and they went back to the same guy, got him another bowl for free. I want you to smoke the rest of that shit so you come back, you know? Yeah.
I mean, that's the glory of the resort experience. You know, they don't want you to come back. That I don't think that's correct. They need you to come back.
Yeah.
You know, the only way the island functions is if you come.
And again, not an island, apparently. Costa Rica, right above Panama, Central America.
Oh,
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and hey, I'm guilty of it too. First 4 months, I thought I was going to be on island time, you know, but apparently not. And apparently it's not all rainforest. I was in the province that was grasslands, lowland, farmland kind of shit. I did travel to see some rainforest, but yeah, it felt like the Sahara in my province that I was staying in. Kind of cool. But what else with Brazil? So weed is hard as fuck to find. Cocaine's everywhere. What's the booze situation like? How we doing on that?
The food? Oh man. We gotta all right, so fun fact about Brazil that very, very few people realize until they get here. Is that Brazil has the largest Japanese population outside of Japan in the world, the largest diaspora community. So if you like Asian food, you're gonna eat good, right?
Okay.
So like right across the street from the hotel I'm at now, they got this fantastic ramen place.
Ooh.
They do really good ramen, obviously. But then they also have like the gyoza, the yakisoba, and the karage chicken that are fucking just good, right? Everything on the menu's good.
Awesome.
But then you also like, if you love barbecue, you got to try the Gancho Chasteria style barbecue, which is the giant swords, and you know they're walking around cutting you off slices of meat. And they just keep going until you're done.
Authentic Brazilian barbecue.
Like the more expensive option.
Yeah.
For the all you can eat, a lot of the places it's just, you know, you choose your cut of meat. It's kind of like a steakhouse type deal where you just like, I want a ribeye today, an entrecote, which is a ribeye, what they call it here, and you know, they just cook you up the steak and then they give it to you with some sides and everything.
Hell yeah. Well, it sounds like you're eating good, and you're speaking right to Dr. Evil with the all Asian food shit. So,
I will say that overall, the places I've eaten in Porto Alegre, the meat's a little oversalted to my taste. You know, they definitely it almost tastes like they take the piece of meat, put it in this giant Tupperware full of salt, let it sit there for like 20 minutes, flip it, let it sit there, and then wipe it off and shove it through the sword and then cook it. It's
salty.
A little too much.
Was it lean? Super lean beef too?
No.
No.
A lot of the cuts that they have here, like it's all grass fed, no corn. But a lot of the cuts here, they always leave the fat cap like right on it.
Yeah.
So if you get like a picanha style steak, every piece you'll have, about half of it will be covered in this huge fatty layer that just soaks through the meat and then makes it super chewy and delicious.
Tremendous. It was not like that in Costa Rica. They had like all Indian Brahmin type cows, and it was like super. Think like water buffalo looking cows, but lean and lots of
Okay.
shoulders. You know.
That sounds tough and chewy.
And it was, but there was lots of it. So, anyways, back to Brazil. So you're eating good. What's the booze situation like?
Booze all right, so before we get into the booze situation, let's say cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Knocking one in.
And also, let's talk about the money situation first, because that's where it really fucking gets good.
Yeah.
So right now, your $1 is about 5.5 to 6 reals, which is the Brazilian dollar, right?
Sure.
So you for a pack of smokes here in Brazil is 7 to 8 reais. My
So it's
U.S.
like
money
$1.
is converting to about $2.22 per pack of smokes.
Yeah.
Most of the canned drinks that you'll get at the gas station, like a beer or something, it's around 10 to 12 reais. And so that's like $2.50 to $3, somewhere in there. I went to the bar, had, I think it was 4 gin and tonics, 2 beers, and I bought like 5 or 6 shots for the table. My bill came out to, I want you to guess.
It's like $46.
$46? Nah, son, try 25.
Wow.
Dude, like if you were an American alcoholic and you have a little bit of money saved up, I don't know why you're not in Brazil. I don't get it, because you could drink for far longer here.
That's crazy. That's crazy, dude.
And then they have Coronas, they have Budweiser all over the place here. They have this fantastic beer called Original.
Okay.
That's a Brazilian beer, and it's
Good.
it's my kind of beer because it's just described as beer.
Tremendous.
Now I have yet to have one because I'm saving it for the Sao Paulo, the next city I'm going to, and where our next podcast should be. But there is a drink that everybody references when they talk about Brazil, called a caipirinha, and it's basically a Brazilian rum with like a little bit of lime and about a pound and a half to 2 pounds of powdered sugar in it.
Oh, wow.
And it's fucking delicious. Oh my God. Like, the last time I was in Brazil was about 10 years ago, and I went to a bar and probably had about 10 to 12 of those motherfuckers.
Wow.
First off, with that amount of sugar, you'd think I would have a huge hangover the next day. No, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Went to the beach the next day. But it was how do I describe this? It's like a lemon lime Gatorade, a little sweeter, and get rid of the electrolytes. You know what I mean?
Negative electrolytes.
Sure.
Not just like minus what was there, you lose some.
Exactly. Yeah.
I had this drink that straight up tasted like Baja Blast with alcohol in it in Costa Rica, and they would not tell us what it was. They just kept bringing them, and I kept drinking them. You know what I mean? It was that same green color of Baja Blast. And they even filled up squirt guns and were spraying it in people in the pool's mouths, and I was like, fuck it, I'm in. So it's only natural that we got sick as soon as we left, so, but whatever. You had any real
Our
run-
service is so good, you don't even have to lift your arms to drink. We'll pour it in for you.
No, straight up water guns. Pump that water gun, shoot it at your mouth, kind of thing. It was crazy. Have you had any run-ins with the shits while you were down there?
Yeah,
big time. Okay.
I got a case of the ye olde Montezuma's Revenge, the Mexicos. See, I bought a water kettle to make coffee in the room in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was using the tap water to fill that bitch up.
No.
And then I think it was like Sunday night into Monday and Tuesday, I was basically curled around my toilet. It was my bed. It was coming out both ends, and oof, not good.
Not good at all. I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry about that.
But I'm a firm believer that I'm stronger afterwards because now I have zero fear of the tap water. It's
in
it's one
you
of
got
those.
The bacteria. We did the thing. You're good. You're immune now.
Yeah.
I never really got it while I was down there, so I was like, oh my God, constantly worried if I should be having ice drinks and stuff like that, but fuck it. I was having ice margaritas and shit down at the pool the whole time. It's like, well, I guess the ice is okay. You know, I don't know.
And it's like I never worry about like when I get it's not my first round of the Mexicos, but I never worry about when I'm gonna get it or if I'm gonna get it. If I get it, I get it because I feel like if you're worried about, oh my God, did they rinse the salad with the water?
Yeah,
did they?
It's going to keep you from experience it.
You're just ruining the whole deal.
Yeah, big time. Like keeping yourself from going ham at the buffet for the first 3 days. I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those like when I'm in a different country, I always try to do as the Romans do is what the saying is.
Yeah.
So I'm here in Brazil, everybody, complete strangers just walking by the street always say bom dia, good morning, or boa noche, good night. It's like a next level. You still talk to everybody and the common courtesy things of acknowledging each other's existence. And I've seen homeless people do it to the richest people. It's kind of just like part of the culture is you still have that common courtesy before they rob you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you guys hear that, Americans? What the fuck? Get with the program. You can't, hold the door open for somebody not even fucking acknowledge your existence.
Wave if I let you cut in front of me in traffic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Otherwise, people are going to start getting shot with paintballs on the road. That's all Chris is saying. Get paintballs on your bumpers. But what you
it's I don't know, like most people, like most Americans, when I talk to them about Brazil, generally they think of about 3 or 4 things. They either think about barbecue, cocaine, crime, the Amazon forest, or if they're politically minded, the whole BRICS movement and all that. Google that if you want to know about it. So it's like there's no real idea of the culture, and that's because Brazil doesn't have a culture in a weird way. Like they don't have a unified this is Brazil, because Brazil is larger than Europe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is a massive country, and it's trying to have a national culture here isn't going to work. It's like saying
It'd
it's
be
like
like
saying
saying all
that
of
Seattle's culture should be exactly the same as San Francisco's, and it should be exactly the same as Charleston, West Virginia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't work out that way.
Yeah. With all the different states and provinces, they all have their own little identities, and it's hard to have a centralized Brazil. You know, honestly, if there was to be one, it should just be a giant ass, dude, and a perfectly sculpted big booty, you know. at what do they call it? Carnival, right? That's Brazil. It's enticing, it's thick.
Yeah, man.
And
feathers and all, strut it like a peacock.
The slogan, national slogan, motto should be just thick 'em up. You know what I mean? Thick 'em up. But that or the rainforest, sure. The rainforest is pretty cool too. But anyways.
Well, I mean, it's like that's I think it's probably the craziest thing about Brazil is the rainforest, the Amazon. And a little bit of Costa Rica as well, is that there are miles and thousands, like not just hundreds, thousands of miles of Amazon rainforest that no modern human has probably ever stepped foot in.
Yeah.
You know, you might still have some primitive tribes out there living their life, not knowing, you know, what the internet is or anything. But most of the Amazon rainforest hasn't even been covered by a LiDAR, which is the technology that will look through the trees and map out the ground and how they find like a whole bunch of pyramids and stuff.
Yeah. So that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And so how are you getting around? Are you flying to the next city? I'd assume so, right?
Yeah. The next city, Sao Paulo. It's the largest city in the Western Hemisphere.
Really?
I think it's by population and by landmass size. I'm not confident. I know it's for sure by like geographic land size, the largest city in the Western Hemisphere. But if we were going to drive it, I think if I remember right, Google said it would take us 22 hours.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, I ain't doing that. Not on the buses out there, bro. No, thank you. Are the roads? How are the roads? I imagine the highways are fine, right? But what about
in town, it really depends on how wealthy your neighborhood is. You know,
right?
If you're out in the favelas, you're lucky if you got a dirt road.
Right.
If you're in the center of town, like in the city center, you know, it's pretty decent. They got some people collecting the trash every day. The worst part of it is probably going to be over by the curb where the drainage is just a giant hole that kind of slowly collapsing
that
in
has
on
washed
itself.
out and is taking the road with it. Yeah, I saw a lot of that down there in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
People drive like the roads are. People drive about the skill level that the roads are like maintained. You know what I'm saying? So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to say that the average Brazilian driver is more skillful than the average American. For the sheer fact that in most of this town, lanes are a suggestion.
Yeah.
You know? And at night, for sure, stoplights, those are definitely a suggestion. You know, you do the slow California roll through it and hope you don't get hit when you actually gun it across an intersection. It's very much, let's phrase it this way. Day one of getting here, I got in an Uber and we were headed towards dinner, and it was maybe 5 minutes into the drive where my car had to hit the brakes because somebody cut us off suddenly. And then the car that cut us off got behind this bicycle guy, and we were sitting in traffic, and then started arguing with the bicycle guy who just like stayed in front of the car. You know, just they were yelling back and forth as they did this slow crawl through traffic. It's very, you know, anything can jump out at you at any second because half the population is probably on something. So it's very much your foot's always halfway on the brake here. It seems like, plus the scooters and everything, of which you can get a scooter ride on Uber, by the way, here. Get a nice motorcycle ride. They're in between the cars. They're, you know, cutting people off left and right.
Rules.
They're going up on the sidewalks, and they're basically a free pass to drive anywhere you want, as if your automobile has two wheels.
That's what's up. I did see a shit ton of motorcycles in Costa Rica. That seemed more commonplace. So, and I get it.
Yeah.
You know,
That's I want to say scooters and motorcycles, mopeds, is like the true sign of a third world country, where you know you're in an economically depressed place when most of the vehicles on the road are carrying two people plus half a house.
Yikes, dude. But 100, you're not wrong. Yo, are you missing anything in the United States right now? The Estados Unidos?
Heat. I'm fucking
Dreadfully cold.
This
I would
soul
swap
eating
with you in a
cold, man.
second, dude. I would love the cold and the rainforest. That sounds dope. So,
it's I like the cold as well, but I don't like because it's not like we're dealing with 30s or 20s here. It's 50 to 60 degrees every day. But because the rain came in early last week and a cold front's around, all the humidity in the air is just like that sticky, clammy cold.
yeah.
And it's just messing with me left and right.
I got you. And it sucks when you just can't get your feet dry, you know? I'm with you. Just stays wet and cold all the time. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd still be thriving, but that's okay. You're my Florida Panther, you know. What you gonna do? Tampa is still there. Same for St. Louis for now. We had a crazy fucking tornado roll through St. Louis the day after we landed. Took out a lot of North County and the city proper. It was like a straight up EMF 3 tornado. So St. Louis City is hurting a lot right now. And hey, if you guys watch this and want to donate and help, you know, look for some reputable places where you can donate and help St. Louis City proper. You know, a lot of people without walls and roofs right now, straight up. We've had a lot of rain. So, shit has been tough up here. It's been like tornado alleys scooting over to the east a little bit. So,
You know, I've noticed the past couple of years the tornado's aim has become more and more towards large population areas.
yeah,
you know
what's
what I mean?
up with that? What's up with that,
It's-
Bill Gates?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love how you just accused him. Out of everybody, you went straight for Billy Gates.
Yeah, I mean, there's any number of those billionaire tech genius savvy people who are like,
But, like-
overpopulation, and it is weird how we keep getting them in, whether it be fires. I mean, and then people are going to say global warming and climate change, and I bet that's equally part true. But Yeah, what's up with all these fires and tornadoes in major metropolitan areas this year as we push for smart cities? I don't know. Chris is using his big brain on a Saturday night. What's happening?
I don't understand the smart city movement. Like,
no, I don't either.
You know, because it's.
Well,
I understand wanting to try and electrify everything, but do we truly need the road to have AI? You know what I mean? Because I always figured your wife is enough to bitch about your driving, but then you got the road just being like, hey, you're driving too hard. You're turning too hard. Yeah. Ow, my spleen. You know, it's a little too much.
Or it starts to reprimand you, you know. That'd be fucked too.
Yeah. Instant fines. How about that?
Or for not having, you know, whatever the rules become, not having your lights off at a certain time, or having your music going past a certain point, or whatever the fuck.
Because I said so, punk ass.
Yeah, pretty much. Your hair's too long. Where are we drawing the line? That's where, you know. But
you're driving around and you hit the line and it's like, you smeared my makeup. That's $20. Oh, hey man, can we hit? I'm sorry to do this. Can we hit pause? Somebody's at my door.
Yeah, go deal with it.
All right, thanks, man.
3, 2, 1. We're back. Ty just had to get drugs real quick. We're back with it though. What's happening? What were we talking about? We were talking about Brazil and stuff, but I was trying to pivot to U.S. and comedy news. Try to keep you updated. St. Louis got taken out by a fucking tornado. Davis Studios North, unaffected outside of helping people. And it's been busy grind since the second I got off the fucking plane. So if I seem unenthused, I'm worn the fuck out. It's not. I'm so glad to be here. Love to see my man.
I feel like this is going to be more of a hangout episode than a funny, enthusiastic
I just
episode.
Want to catch up and see.
Because I'm in the same boat as you as the grind, dude.
I know you are too. Yeah, and I know you really wanted to be on last episode. I'm half glad you weren't, just because it was long. I think we went an hour 20, and that wasn't even included. So. That was solid as far as detailing the trivialities of the fucking Costa Rica trip. Good listen if you guys want to go listen to that. Schweitzer was on one. Also, no, I ain't even going. It was too much to talk about. Comedy news. Let's hit you with some comedy news real quick. I'm trying to think of anything crazy. Ari Shaffir, one of my faves. Host of the UB Trippin' podcast, president of Legion of Skanks, you name it, agent of chaos, is taking a break from podcasting and comedy to go on like a 6-month to year-long travel trip. So that's insane, and we're losing Ari to travel.
Yeah, but didn't Ari have a travel podcast as well?
Yeah, the UB Trippin'. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he's straight up taking a break from it to do the travels. So, I mean, I'm sure it'll come back or he'll do his thing, but fuck. If you're a weekly Monday listener like myself, damn it. You know? Damn.
Yeah.
Also, first Skankfest Ari Shaffir won't be at, and last year he took his shit on stage. So, and I mean literally. Like cardboard box took a shit on stage, dude. What are we doing?
I mean, it's kind of hard to top that. It really is. Really. Like,
what's left to do?
Yeah.
What's left to do, man?
Besides involving another human or, experiencing coitus on stage, which I don't think is an ideal situation for Ari. I don't know where you go from there.
So, I'm trying to think of other comedy news going on. Okay, This one was crazy. Legion of Skanks. They've been having ECW, which is East Extreme, some sort of extreme wrestling from back in the day before WWE. They were all big wrestling fans. They've been having former ECW wrestling stars on the podcast, and they keep dying. Okay. First they had New Jack on, and 6 months after his last appearance, New Jack passed away. Rip New Jack. Okay. That's not as crazy. This last one was crazy. They had former wrestling star Sabu on, who wasn't really former. He had just fought. He had more fight. He had his final fight coming up kind of thing. They had him on the podcast, and he died 4 days later.
Ooh.
Straight the fuck up. And he was a little out of it, I'd say the first half, but he came around. They ended up having a good time with him. I'd say the second half for sure. He opened up. But yeah, kind of nuts. Rip Sabu. He seemed like a fun guy. On last week's episode, just following the heels of Sabu dying, they had former ECW star Sandman on. And Sandman is notorious for drinking and just beating the shit out of people with a stick. And he came on and beat the shit out of everybody with a stick, dude.
Interesting.
Like, they ended the podcast early because they did not really expect to get beaten the fuck up. Also, in Davis Studio news, the cats are doing really good, and they're all getting along, which is fun. Hey, what are we doing here?
Excellent. Are they currently in the studio? I don't see them on the screen, but I do hear the occasional meow.
I got one with me right now, and Oscar's with me, too, in the window.
Gotcha. Now, before we continue on with comedy news, let's do the kitty update, the kitty date, if you so will. Is Oscar still hating the two new additions?
No, he'll snuggle with them. He'll sleep with them during the day. They're pretty on it. Once it gets to be about food time or when we're laying down, then it's fight time. So there is still fight time, but they get along and snuggle most of the day.
So they adapt.
They tolerate each other now. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, other comedy news. A lot of people are moving to Austin. It's like a second wave of comedians all moving to Austin at the same time. Couple notable ones are both Fighter and the Kid. Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen are moving to Austin, and that's official. Last episode in LA happened. And it kind of sucks because I'm a huge Golden Hour fan, which has Eric Griffin and Chris D'Elia on it with Brendan Schaub. Not sure what's going to happen there. And we'll see what happens. Tim Butterly, Philadelphia podcaster that is like big in the New York scene too. Moving to Austin as well. Ditching his podcast team, going down to Austin. Don't know what's in it for him. For real, I don't think he does either. So, and probably a bunch more too, but just those are the ones that are coming to head off the top of my head this week.
Is it because, like, I know Austin is now the third great comedy scene in the United States, arguably the greatest, but it is also the newest. I know why a lot of podcasters and companies are leaving California just for tax reasons. Same with, New York City, and there's a third viable option where it is cheaper taxes wise to leave. I do wonder though, is there enough clubs in Austin to support all these high level comedians?
Are we about to be oversaturated? But I do hear that one street that the mothership's on and
6th Street
Improv is on is just like straight up 6 fucking comedy shacks all in the same block kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, and then you got more outside of just that block, I'm sure there's a decent amount. seems like that's a big draw. So I feel like there's venue owners who are just taking advantage of that too as well. But still, with how many people, open micers and shit, are going down there for Kill Tony and this and that, trying to get in on the podcast scene, I'd be worried about moving there too. But I definitely go scope it out a few times before I make that decision. You know, or have a network down there. But whatever. You know, what you got? Of course.
Like, I've been to Austin before the mothership was up and going. Kill Tony was there. Like, it's definitely a great setup. What they got going on 6th Street there, because it is, you know, about 2-3 blocks of bars, a pizza place, you know, a couple food options, and it's a fun place to be at. And I do see it expanding either further up the street or over to 5th Street where Creek in the Cave is. I think it's 5th Street is where Creek in the Cave is. But also, once you're outside of that area, like if you go towards the interstate down the hill off of 6th Street, it gets to homeless people real quick. But then if you go the other way, it's like a commercial area with like the super tall bank buildings and everything.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have that much room to expand. You know what I mean?
Unless you get into the suburbs and shit. So.
Yeah. But who wants to go out to the burbs?
No. Anyways, so more Austin news there. Do you have any Savage of the... also, specials. Guys, it's summer season. Everybody's got specials out right now. Joe List has a new special out on YouTube. Everybody has a new special out on YouTube. Go check out your favorite comedian's new special this summer. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I want to contribute just a little bit on this. We have talked about Big J Okerson's They/Them. Both parts are out now, right?
Yeah.
I watched them both. They're fantastic. I want to say the second part is a little bit better
really?
than the first part. In my humble opinion.
I watched part 1. I have not watched part 2 yet, so I'll have to go check that out. That's lit.
And then also, I think Asan Ahmad is gonna put out a special here soon. I don't remember what date. And then, I mean, Netflix is putting out like 2 or 3 comedy specials every month. So if you got it, just check it every once in a while.
Same for Hulu. They're all over that Hulu-arious or whatever fucking thing. Trying to get more specials out there. Sarah Silverman just had a big new one. And honestly, Sarah Silverman was wearing like a long sleeve button down with a sweater over it. And I was like, oh no, she's stealing my English professor look. What the fuck? You got any Savage of the Week this week from being out of the country? Any Brazilians really taking the heat for being a savage this week?
I mean, I have a literal Savage of the Week, but it's not an award winner. Because the day before I got here, and this goes back to the Brazilian crime thing, like in Rio de Janeiro, as an obvious gringo, I have to be careful around every ATM because they'll do what they call a soft kidnapping, where they basically walk up to you, put a gun in your side, and say, keep withdrawing money until it stops. But here in Porto Alegre, the day before I arrived, the police found a car in the suburb burning, just on fire, purposely set, and then they found a decapitated guy in the trunk of the vehicle. Okay. So, yeah, whoever did that, you're an actual savage, bro. That's
Christ,
fucking
dude.
crazy. Nuts.
Okay, I'm staying at the hotel. Yeah, you know.
Well, it's a
Different city
it's-
entirely.
it's the tale of it's a tale of two cities. You know, it's Brazil is very much two different things, day and night. You know, it's nighttime. It is of the devil. Daytime, it's different. You know, it's family friendly daytime.
When that sun goes down, you better get inside.
Yeah,
You know.
unless you know, like you can still have a good time because a lot of people have a good time dancing with Satan. You know, going to a nightclub, taking a little yayo. You know, but some people end up in the trunk of a car.